Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah, it was my bad.
So I have
Sorry,
a doubt.
which
Like in this, so when we're using cat command, so will it like tell us what is in the command, what is in the file? If it's a text file only, or if it's a C file also, it will tell us that what's there in the file.
Yeah, so let me repeat everything like quickly for so that recording catches it very quickly, and I'll answer your question. So yeah, so far I talked about change directory. You can change directory using cd. We talked about ls, which is supposed to list all the files. You can do ls-l to list it in the long format. Then you can use echo to write to files. So this is a redirection greater than. So this is saying, okay, so first echo hello is just going to print hello. Then we are saying echo hello a.txt. So greater than is saying redirect it to a.txt. Then you can do cat to look at a.txt. This is showing us hello. You can do copy a.txt into b.txt and do ls. Now we have b.txt. You can move b.txt into d.txt. Now b.txt is renamed to d.txt. Then we can do rm a.txt and c.txt. So now a and c are gone. We are left with d. So now I can answer your question. So the question is, can we do cat on anything? Yes, you can. So here is a C file. So you can do cat on the C file to see what is in that C file. You can actually also do cat on binary files, but it will just mess up your terminal. So if I do cat on a.out, so it just shows what is inside it, but it's not very readable. So you can do cat on anything. You can do cat on images, you can do cat on videos, but you won't understand much. Like
So it can mainly read our PDF, TXT, and C files.
even PDF you cannot. So you can only, cat is generally used only for text based files. Like PDF can also have figures and stuff like that, right? So it's a proprietary format. It's not pure text.
So what
sir,
exactly does ls
what
space
is
minus l does?
Yeah, ls-l is, so ls is showing like a short form of what are your files in the folder. ls-l is showing it in the long form. So it is showing like what are the permissions on the file, who is the user, how many bytes, when was this file created, and so on.
So
So
what is permissions actually? So like how are these granted different?
okay, yeah. So we can change the permission. Let's try to change the permission. So let's say, so currently like d.txt has read permissions on it. So let's first look at only the first three, rw dash. So I can read it and I can also write it. It doesn't have a x, that means I cannot execute it. As you can notice, a.out has an x because it's a binary file, I can execute it. So executing is /a.out, right? You must have seen it in the lecture. So since this is a txt file, I cannot execute it. I can read and write it. But let me try to say that I don't want people to read it, right? So I can do for, and I'll explain this in a bit, but for 244. Okay, let me do 244 in txt. So now I removed the read permission from d.txt, right? Previously d.txt had the read permission. And if I now do cat d.txt, it will tell me, okay, I don't have permission to read it, right? So this is how like you will study more of this in OS course, but basically this is how you allow, you keep stuff like separate. So you don't want everyone to read d.txt and stuff like that. So
Can
permission
we
is,
open? So can we open d.txt now after going मतलब from मतलब टर्मिनल के बाहर से जाके खोल
okay.
सकते हैं
let's try it. So I do open here. So this is showing the folder. If I try to read it, let's see. You do not have permission to open the document, right?
So also, what was the significance of 244 that you wrote?
Yeah, so I'll explain that now. So before that, I do have permission to write it still, right? So let's try to write it. If I do echo try writing into d.txt, it is letting me write it, right? And if I do chmod 044, now I don't have permission to write it as well. And if I try to write it now, it will say permission denied. Okay, so let's reset it to 644. And now let's look at it. So this is, I'll explain 644 and 244. This is a bit cryptic, I know, but I'll explain it in a
So
bit.
what is dash R dash dash R dash dash?
I'll explain that as well. But now, so by 644, now I have read write permission. So now I can echo into it and I can also read it, right? I can write it and read it. Cool. So now let's look at what these permissions are. So there are three.
Sir, sir, can you explain that? What is the .txt, .c, .s, and all that? What does it mean?
Okay, so let me come to that. Let's finish with permissions and then I can answer that question. So in this one, there are three types of, how to define it? Three types of entities you can say in the system. So one is called the user. So my user is research on this machine, right? So who am I is a command to see my user. So my user is named research. So this is telling me that all of these files actually belong to me because I created them, right? And then I think I can run groups. Yeah, so the second, so that is the first concept, which is user. So who is the user? So the first three, these ones are for the user. This is the permissions of the user. Like what can the user do and what they cannot do on each file. So this is defined for the user. Then the second concept is groups. So we can create, so this laptop only has one user since it's a personal laptop, but you can have on a machine, you can have like thousands of users even, right? And you might want to share the files among different users. So what you can do is you can create something called a group. So the second concept is group. So this is telling me that actually this file also belongs to the group staff. And by running groups on my username, I can see what are all the groups that I belong to. So I belong to staff and everyone and whatnot. So the next three bits are for the group, like what can people in the group do with this file. So people in the group can read file, they cannot write file, they cannot execute this file. And the third three are for other. So this is for everyone else on the computer. So everyone else can read the file. Everyone else they cannot write it or execute it. So this is how you read this thing. Like first three are user, next three are group, and the other three are for others. And this is the user, this is the group for this file.
So what do you mean by first three basically?
First three letters, so RWX. So if instead of X, if it is showing a dash, that means you do not have execute permission here.
The group does not include the user.
Group may or may not include the user. So in this case, I belong to the staff group. By running groups on my username, I can see that I belong to the staff group, but I may not belong to the group. Like it can go either way.
So what are these groups, staff group and all those, everyone, local?
Yeah, let's not get into that. I think that is too much detail that you do not need to worry about.
And sir,
So
what is
basically-
research? Sir, what you said staff is a group. What is research?
Research is my username. So you should have your username when you log into SSH into something, right? You must be writing like ajindal@csc is my username, right? If I log in into a IIT D machine, let's try this.
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, try this on my laptop and it's showing me DRWXR. Like prior to this WXR, it's showing DR as well.
yeah. We haven't talked about this first bit, so 1 second.
Okay,
We'll
sir.
just talk about that. So yeah, like I just SSH into a IIT Delhi machine. This is a different machine. So here my username is my IIT Delhi username. So if I run who am I here, it shows me A Jindal. And if I run groups A Jindal, it shows me all the groups I'm part of. I'm part of CSE faculty and faculty. Cool. So let's come back to this. So we can see these are all dash.
So could you also like tell
What
one
is that
like
fourth
what's the
left?
first like the first three and the second three and the last three? What are those?
These are user permissions, group permissions, and other permissions.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, RWXR, that's read, write, execute, and what's the last R for?
Read, write, execute for this user, read, write, execute for the group, and then read, write, execute for other.
So like the in the second one the groups the groups can't write in there, right? Because there's no W.
Exactly.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Yeah.
सर एक्चुअली सर मेरे पास ना सर 12th तक फिजिकल एजुकेशन थी मतलब मैंने कंप्यूटर में ज्यादा कुछ किया नहीं बल्कि कुछ आता भी नहीं है तो सर मेरे तो कुछ नहीं समझ आ रहा अब और सर जो ये लिनक्स वगैरह होते हैं ना सर मैंने कभी कुछ यूज किया और मतलब सब कुछ जीरो है मुझे कुछ नहीं आता तो मैं क्या करूं
कंप्यूटर है तुम्हारे पास ना?
हाँ सर है लेकिन वो मतलब मुझे कंप्यूटर में सर एक तो इंटरेस्ट नहीं है मतलब है काफी पहले से सर भाई यूज करता है उसको और मतलब मुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता
अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं। तो काफी सारी चीजें मुझे भी काफी सारी चीजें नहीं आती हैं, बट सीख सकते हैं, उसमें क्या हो गया।
भाई
नहीं सर मेरे साथ ना
हम लोग भी पहली बार
नहीं सर मेरे साथ ये है ना कि सर मुझे मतलब आगे भी कुछ इसमें इंटरेस्ट है नहीं तो मतलब मैं किसी तरह मतलब बस ये है कि बस हो जाएगी कोर्स मुझे इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं करना है कंप्यूटर में
ओके तो यू लेट्स टॉक ऑफलाइन सेपरेटली, अलग से बात।
Sir, and by the way, what is going on here?
सर कैसी बात
I mean, like sir, I tried this dual booting and somehow my machine got cracked and then I had to factory reset. I joined this. What is going on?
I can't help with the logistics in this. Like we only have 1 hour, so let's keep the logistics on Piazza if we can. Like this kind of technical issues.
So
Okay, let me define the reason for this help session. So we are trying to. So we will only answer questions which will be useful for everyone in the class, right? So let's.
सर आपसे ऑफलाइन कहाँ पे बात हो सकती है?
ईमेल कर दीजिए मुझे।
ओके सर, ओके, थैंक यू।
एंड बाकी जो इंस्ट्रक्टर्स हैं आदितेश्वर एंड नागेश, उन्हें भी ऐड कर देना उस ईमेल में।
ओके सर, ओके।
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, from where to practice questions C programming?
You will have lab assignments, so those should be good.
So apart from that, anything according to you?
Yeah, like I used to use. There are these competitive websites like CodeChef and SPOJ. There are some other good ones. There should be new ones now.
Sir, please you can write that in chat box.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Can we use some other text editor other than Vim, like of VI?
Sorry?
How do we use some text editor other than VI? And then bring those files into the directory?
Yes, sir. I'm not able to, the different text editor, I'm writing the program, but I'm not able to import that into the VMware machine or something like that.
Again, is I think best suited for lab sessions. This question is.
You can use the code word code like for VS Code, or like for other like Atom, you can use the code word Atom.
Okay, so right now let's keep our questions focused on the terminal commands we are learning. Otherwise, we won't learn anything.
Sir, can you explain the open command that you wrote, which opened the file explorer?
Yeah, so open this is a Mac only command, so it won't work on Linux and it won't work on SSH. But open is a Mac only command. So this is basically similar to double clicking a file. So if I double click this file, let's not double click this file. If I double click this file, it opens in text editor, right? So open is similar to just double clicking on a finder. So when I open d.txt, it opens in text editor. When I open the previous folder, it opens in this finder. So open is similar to what when you double click on something, what will happen on computer. It's similar to that.
What's the equivalent of that in Linux?
I think Linux has xdg-open.
So when we are working on Cygwin, so we can use that command.
I don't think it will work. Yeah, this is Mac only command, as far as I know. Cygwin should have its own flavor of open.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how do we display? How do we get the hidden files? Because I guess ls doesn't show us the hidden files, which are preceded by a dot.
Good question. So in Linux-like systems, hidden files start with a dot. So I can say echo hello and say dot hidden, right? And if I do ls, I don't see dot hidden. So you need to use ls-a to see the dot hidden file, and you can combine them ls-al to see dot hidden.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Cool. So now,
what are hidden files, sir?
Sorry.
So what are hidden files?
Hidden is just a OS construct. Like if you want to hide the files, it doesn't really. So like here, when you see this 01, you don't see dot hidden, right? It's basically hidden from your file browser. But if I like move dot hidden into hidden, since now it doesn't start with a dot, I should be able to see it. Yeah, I can see it now. So hidden is basically just a hidden file.
Sir, why did not you write the extension of the file hidden like you did earlier?
Yeah, so that is another good question. Like extensions, so again, this depends on the OS a little bit, and it's going to be confusing if I make a blanket statement. But in OS, like in Unix, like OS, actually, class. So in Linux, like OS, actually the extensions don't mean much. Like if you do d.txt, sorry, if I change d.txt to let's say d.jpg, I can do cat d.jpg and it still has the same thing in it, right? So extension is just a hint for the OS, like how should I open this file? So as you can see, like even though it still has the same thing in the file, it is now telling me that it is actually a JPEG image. And if I try to open it, it will say I don't know how to open it because it's not an image. So it's just a convention. So good idea to use it, but
sir.
Yeah.
So when we create a txt file, and if we were to change it to .c with the extension .c, then would it work? I mean, sir, in the example sheet, we saw a file called hello.c, and then and then GCC used that as GCC hello.c dash o hello.o, for compiling and then further options. So, sir, if we were to write a file in the form txt, and then we use the mv command like mv d.txt to d.c, then further GCC can work on d.c. I mean, would that be a successful program?
Yep.
And sir, I was asking one more thing, that there we have learned, I learned through that program, hello.c, then GCC hello.c dash o hello.o, and then the further executing command. So that is the only option. I mean, dot c is the only option for us. I mean, compiling through .txt is not possible, or what?
We can try it. So like, let's say this is io.c. So by the way, like, feel free to play around, right? This is computer science is supposed to be like that. Just play around and try for yourself. So if I compile a.c, this works. So your question is, if I change it to io.txt and if I try to compile it, what happens? So GCC is complaining. So I guess, yeah, it doesn't work.
So like in Mac, you don't need to write GCC io.c slash o, like hyphen o to compile it.
So by default, GCC will compile it to a.out. That is only useful for if you want to give your own name to a.out. So 1 second. So if yeah, so by default it will put in a.out.
And so what are these numbers that are coming? Like 4 to 48 March, 12 March, 6 March.
So this is the size of the file, like how much in bytes it is. So this is a 6-byte file. This is a 24-byte file. This is March 4th. This is the time when the file was created, I think, or modified, one of those.
So what exactly does Unix based OS mean? Unix like OS?
That's a good question. So we have started moving into other direction. Let's how about you ask that in Piazza? Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, if I use my Mac and log in into that SSH command, and then I try to use the open command, will it work?
No, it will not.
Sir, how can we open the programming that we first wrote in the file? I mean, in this window only.
Okay, cool. So we are okay. I'm going to move on from Linux terminal into editor now, which is Vim. So do you have any other question on terminal?
Sir, could you just
Excuse me, sir.
What
the
difference
terminal and editor?
Okay. One second. Yeah, how about you guys ask the question in chat? I think that will be better. And I can just show like 244, 644 thing, like what that meant, and then move on to editor.
What are difference between editor and?
Yeah, please put those questions in chat. I'll come back to it so I can answer. We can make progress on one front. So, okay, so there was a question that what is this first one? So I haven't told about how to create directories yet. So you can make directories using make-dir. So make-dir directory. And now if I do ls-l, there is a directory here. And this says D, that means that this is a directory. If it was showing dash, that means it was a file, right? And I can delete directory using rmdir directory. So now if I look at it, it doesn't have that directory.
So what's the difference between a directory file and a folder?
Directory is same as folder.
Oh, okay, so directories when files are in a folder file.
Yeah. So then let's look at 244, 644, that magic, right? So are you all familiar with binary numbers? Or no?
Yes.
No.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No,
So we
sir.
just know what they are, but we are not like exactly. We don't know.
Do you know how? So like, can someone tell me how to change 7 into binary?
So we write 7 as 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 1s plus number of 2 to the power 2s and so on.
Right. So
Yeah.
7 is 2 to the power 4 plus 2 plus 1, right? So the binary for 7 will be 111, right? So 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7, right? So binary for 7 will be 111. So that is one concept. So now when we were doing, so if I do like 777 on d.txt, so this is saying put 7 on, in the permission, put 7 on user, 7 on group, and 7 on other. So if I do this and I do ls-l, by the way, you can put file name after ls-l as well. So if I do this, now it shows everything, everyone can read, write, execute. So each is for, so since this is now 111, right? So each bit is for, so 111 is 7 and each bit is enabled in 7. So they are all read, write, execute. If I do, let's say 077, so now it removed all the permissions for the user, and since both the group and the other was 7, we have RWX, right? So I think I previously ran 644. So can someone tell me what will happen with 644?
Sir,
110,
read and
so
write permission.
execute
Rewrite permission.
Read write
Or
for the
rewrite.
user, and for the others only write. Read.
Yeah. So read, write for the user, only read for other and group. If I do 640, then read, write, read, and then nothing for other. Cool, I think. So now let's move to the editor half.
So what's chmod? Can you explain once?
Chmod is change permission. I think change mod something, but it's basically for changing permissions. And if you want to like look at some what.
Sir, why this special number only you are writing?
So could you
Please
explain
explain again
what
this
the
one.
command
The use of this
777 did?
7707764.
Okay. Cool. So first concept is binary. Like are you, so the person who asked this question, are they familiar with binary? That 7 is basically 111.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when I say 111, that means turn all of these on. So give read permission, give write permission, give execute permission. So 111, right? So when I said, so first 7 is for the user, the next 7 is for the group, and the next 7 is for other. So when I said 777, it meant give 111 to this, 111 to this. So we basically enabled everything. When I said 077, 0 is, what is binary for 0? 000, right? So I'm saying disable all the permissions for the user. And since the other two are 7, I'm saying give this all the permission to group, all the permission to other, and so on. So don't worry too much about it. It's just good to know, but you won't have to use it anytime in the future. So most of this stuff is.
So in binary, like what will 4 be called in binary? What will be the binary equivalent of 4?
Yeah, so 4 is 100, right? So that's why it is read and then not no write and no execute, because 4 is 100.
So
So
what if
what
we
does
wrote
this mean?
9?
Read, write, not read. What is the use of this?
Uh-huh. Okay, that question we have already answered, so I'll skip that one.
So what if we wrote 9?
We can try.
9, 7,
We
7,
can
7.
only do it till 7 because in the case of 8 it will be a 1000.
Yeah, so it showed me invalid file mode, right? So you can only go up to 7.
Okay.
You can read up on. So by the way, another command is man, which is show me the manual for any command. So you can read up on any command in more detail, manual of chmod. So this is saying change file mods or access control list, and this will show you what every command does, right? So there's like, it also sometimes has examples, so you can go and look at these. You can then man on anything, man ls, man cd, right? So you can go and see like what each command does. Cool, so I'll move on to Vim now, which is the editor of, it can be a bit hard in the beginning, but it's actually a very, very nice editor. And the reason I'll tell you is the following, right? So basically,
It is a terminal-based editor.
yeah, it is a terminal-based editor, and it came around in 1991, which is almost as old as me, but it has been around for so long. Like, if you think about software, like there are not many software that live that long. Like Facebook is only 2004, Google is like 2000 or something. So Vim has been used for almost 30 years, and there must be something right that these guys are doing. So the beauty of Vim is, if you think about text editing, right? Like you have to, so the beauty of Vim is you should move your hand as less as possible to get stuff done. Like if you think about text editor, right? You have to do something, then you touch the mouse, then you press the arrow keys, then you press like A, B, C, D. So there's like lot of hand movement. You have to scroll using your mouse wheel. So your hand goes away from the keyboard a lot, right? The Vim, you don't have to use a mouse. So it's completely on the keyboard. You almost never, or you never use your arrow keys. So you are always on the letters. So you move your hand as least as possible while achieving the same thing. And you can actually do a lot more than what you can do with the normal editors. So I'll just show I'll just show very basic commands. So to move to like, okay. So in Vim, there are actually 4 what are called modes. When you open a file in Vim, it is called normal mode. So you mostly stay in such modes in the normal mode. So to move around in normal mode, you can like, you can use J for moving down, K for moving up, H for moving left, L for moving right. So this is very basic moving around.
So how did I open this manual?
Oh, this is a file I wrote. I can send it to you later. Then if you want to do like, if you want to jump down, you can do Control D. If you want to jump up, you can do Control U. If you want to go top of the file, you can do GG. If you want to go bottom of the file, you can do capital G. Right? If you
Can we change these keybinds?
Sorry?
So can we change these keybinds or it is fixed?
You could, but it's recommended not to, because Vim is by default installed on any laptop and any computer. And it's best to learn the default ones. So that way, any computer you buy or use, you can just use it. Like it, so slowly, like these things will start going in your muscle memory. Like I don't even have to think now how to do control, like page up, page down, stuff like that. So it's best if these things start going into your muscle memory. Then to jump words forward, I can do W. By the way, like I can maybe just move this here. Yeah, like W, can do D to jump back, W to jump forward, B to jump back. For searching anything, I can do slash, and then search for anything. So slash search, searches for text. Then once I search for something, I can press N to go to the next search, N, right? I can press capital N to go to previous search. I can press hash to, so if I'm on some word, I can press hash to just search it. So now it is showing.
Will you share this file?
Yeah, I'll share it with you.
But if W means jump one word forward, then how do we type W on the keyboard if you want to write something with W?
Yeah, so we'll go to insert mode later. So currently in normal mode, you're not writing anything. You're just navigating across the top.
Okay, sir.
Cool. So star is for this.
So
don't worry about remembering these commands. I just want to convince you like Vim is really awesome and really useful. It can sound scary in the beginning, but it's actually very powerful. I just want to convince you with that. Don't worry about commands right now. You are not going to remember it anyways currently. So don't worry about them. $$ is for jumping to the end of line. 0 is for jumping to the beginning of line. Right? $0, $0. Okay, so this is normal mode. The next mode is in the mouse. In you must have seen, right? In text editor, use the mouse to select stuff. So visual mode is for selecting stuff. So you press a V, right? So now it says you are in the visual mode. Now if I move around, it's actually selecting stuff, right? So you can select stuff using V. And if I press D, which is for delete, it will delete stuff, right? And I can press U to undo. So let's write U is for undo. So yeah, D is for delete. If I am selecting all of this, if I press Y, Y is for copy. And if I press P, P is for paste, right? So think about it, right? So think about how you would do copy and paste in normal text editor. You'll go to the mouse, you'll double click, then you'll right click copy or press Control C and Control V. But in this, you are in the same like keyboard context without having to switch back and forth. Like once it's in muscle memory, it's really fast.
So the idea of Vim is just to reduce the time it takes to write.
Yeah, it's going to make it super fast. And there is some automation I can show after we cover basic stuff. So the next mode is insertion. So when you actually want to write something, you can press I. So now it is showing that you are in the insert mode. And here you can say hello or whatever, right?
Sir, is there a way to jump from one place to another place? Like in normal case, we move mouse around and whatever the place we want, we can go there.
Yeah, so you can use page up, page down. You can use line numbers actually as well. So I should mention line numbers. So if I press 12, jump to line 12. So if I press, so okay, after insert mode, there is command mode. To enter command mode, you press colon. So when I say colon, it is waiting for some command now. If I press 12, it jumps to line 12, right? This is on line 12 now.
So like how?
So means this 12 was not previously decided. You entered that command, no? Means
Yeah.
you created that new command.
So if I press, so after colon, if I write 21, it will jump to line 21, right? It will jump to whatever line you want it to jump to. Cool.
So means we have to use colon and then the number of the line to jump to that line.
Yeah. Then for so you can also run like actually yeah. So to save and exit, press :WQ. So now you are out of Vim. And if you don't want to, so as you can see, like this 12, all this we wrote just now, right? This is saved. But let's say if I write some random stuff here and I don't want to save it, so I can do Q exclamation mark. And now if I look at the file again, it won't have the random stuff. Right after 12, I had written some random stuff. Now, since I didn't save it, it's not part of the file.
So how did you go to the file? I'm asking.
How did I open?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so once you are here, like in the folder, you can do Vim and then give the name of the file you want to open. And it will basically open that file in Vim.
Sir, what is the difference between Vim and VI?
Its basic commands are the same, but Vim has some more commands. So use Vim whenever possible. Like VI doesn't even have these colors, for example. So VI is like very, very basic, which you sometimes have to use if you're working on embedded systems and stuff like that. Cool. Another cool thing about Vim is you can run any command inside it. So if I do colon and exclamation mark, and I do, let's say, ls, so it showed me the output of ls. And if I press enter, I'm back, right? So I don't have to go back and forth among 10 different things to like run commands, right? So like
Do we have to download any extra file for Vim?
No, Vim is generally built in. Vim should be built in.
So
yeah.
So like over here, when you were writing all of these things, some small letters were appearing. Is it a feature of Mac or does it always happen?
No, that is the Vim. So basically, we are in the normal mode right now. So that's why this is not writing anything. But if I go to insert mode, now it says insert in the bottom. Now it will write stuff.
So like basically, when you're going up, I can see that you're pressing the K key. So it's some over in the middle of the like the page you have opened, it's showing K.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, this is just I just added this so you can follow what I'm doing.
Oh, so it's a feature, you added the feature or it's an inbuilt feature of the terminal?
Oh, no. Yeah, I added this software in Mac. This is just for teaching purpose. Like since you cannot see my hands, what I'm typing, that's why I just added it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so by the way, like to exit any mode, you need to press escape. So like if I'm in the Vim in insert mode, I can press escape to come back to normal mode. Or if I'm in visual mode, I can press escape to come back to normal mode, right? So yeah, like Vim is very powerful. So I'll just show off some capabilities of Vim. Like this is not supposed to be, this is just supposed to be motivation for using Vim. Let's say I want to delete all these stars, right? So I can do this in Vim very easily. This will be very hard to do in text editors, right? Right. And let's say I had a number called 1, 2, 3, and I want to get numbers till 1,000, right? For whatever reason, I can do it very easily in Vim. So this is now advanced stuff. I won't be telling how to do it, but this is just motivation for you to use Vim. So I can actually record my commands in Vim. So I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So I'll press Q to say I'm going to record it in a macro called A, copy, paste, increment, and then recording is done. Then I can just continue right? So Vim gives you like automation. See, I'm not typing anything right now. The editor is writing those commands for me. So sometimes, like when you're working with large files or whatever, you sometimes want this kind of automation. So if you like, professional programmers generally use these kind of editors, right? Because as you learn more, the benefits are they just keep increasing. But you don't have to worry about automation and all this. It's just a motivation that it's a good idea to learn them. Cool. So
in order to delete a file, we need to come out of that file, or we can delete directly from there.
You should come out of the file. Okay, so yeah.
In the assignment, it was written that we need some extra editors like Atom and Sublime Text. All those were written. So, like, those are similar to this Vim or something else.
Those are different editors. Like, they don't have the same power as Vim, in my opinion, at least. Like, people are very split on that, but in my opinion, Vim is a lot more powerful than other editors.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
How to save the file in the Vim now if a code is written in the text format?
Yeah, so you can do :WQ. So as you can see, it will show here. And if I press enter.
But sir, when I am writing this WQ, it is written on the above of the in the text that we have written already, not on the below.
Right. So you must be in the insert mode. So to come out of the insert mode, you first need to press escape.
Okay, sir.
Now you see the insert mode is gone. Now I can do WQ.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So do we need to learn how to use these automated commands? How you made those numbers come automatically?
No. That is just a motivation. Like, so you will be working, if coding is going to be part of your life, like you'll be working with editors a lot. So it's good to invest early and start learning good editors because they pay off over time.
Sir, can you teach us how to cut, copy, and paste in Vim, because it will be useful?
Yeah. So again, like for go into visual mode, let's say I want to cut this text, right? And I want to paste it here, right? So what you do is you go into visual mode by pressing V, right? So now it's showing me that it's visual mode. Then I basically just select the text I want using the same navigation commands. And if I press D, it's it's basically cutting. And then if I press P or P, it's pasting, right?
D is for deleter and cut also.
Yeah, so if you don't paste it, it's basically deleted, right? Like if I just do a delete and never do a D and never paste it, then it's just deleted, right?
So sir, we can use this cut, copy, paste commands in normal mode also, but we can select it using visual mode.
Yeah, so select it using visual mode, go back to normal mode, and then, okay, yeah, you are right. Pasting should be in visual mode, in the normal mode. Yeah, good catch.
Sir, can we use these commands in Windows command prompt?
In Cygwin, you should be able to use it.
Cygwin is an emulator, right?
Yeah, Cygwin gives like all of this, all of these commands. Right. So yeah, Cygwin should have them.
And sir, what is the meaning of these backslash and normal slash?
In here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here we use normal slash, and when we write anything in Vim, then we use backslash, right?
In Vim shouldn't have slashes. Oh, like for searching, you mean?
Yes, like \n and that.
So this is just a convention. So okay, let's look at this. Like you can see that this is, we are in documents, then in some folder, then teaching, then this, then this, then this, right? So the same directory structure is basically shown using these slashes. So slashes are just used for separating directories. So this is saying that I'm in documents, then inside documents, I'm in this folder, then I'm in this folder and this, and then this, and so on, right? So slashes, so Windows has backslash, but that is just a convention. So all, like, again, like Mac and Linux will have forward slashes.
So if
Excuse
we
me, sir.
.txt extension and we try to run a program written in the C language, then it won't run, I think.
Yeah.
Why is it so?
Let's actually try it in Linux environment. Okay. So now let's move it to interesting. Yeah, I think yeah, GCC is somehow depending on the extension. Yeah, it's just how GCC is treating the file. Like, I don't have a good answer here. Yeah.
Sir, excuse me, sir. How do we replace text in Vim?
So you can delete it, and then you can, like if this is in Vim, yeah, you can select it by visual mode, then you can delete it, then you can go in insert mode and say hello, right?
No, sir. I mean, what if we have hello in one line and then let's say try writing in the next, and we want to replace the first line with hello? So can we do that?
So what do you have? You have try writing here.
And then let's say hello in the second line.
Okay.
And we want to replace hello by try writing in the second line. So can we do that, or do we have to delete hello first and then write it again?
Yeah, like, so I don't want to overwhelm with too many commands, but yeah, you can do dd and then p for deleting the whole line and then pasting it.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yeah, but like play with Vim, you will learn. Yeah, there's just too many commands to teach.
So like if you have compiled a total like file in our first assignment, we had to compile a file. It was like a very simple assignment, but then like can we make changes to the C file after we have like compiled it also?
Yes, but you will have to recompile it.
We'll have to
compile it again before running.
I understand that, but so like we can make edits using insert mode only, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, can we use editors to like compile and run the files?
Yeah, that is a good question. So let's say we are in here. I can do, so colon, this goes in the command mode, right? So I can say gcc io.c. This will basically compile the file. I didn't leave the editor, and then I can say a.out. This will run the file, right? So you can do anything from inside Vim, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So is it necessary to use dot o means in compile in the process of compiling the GCC and then file name, then hyphen o, and then the output file name be write dot o explanation?
You can choose to. It's not necessary. It will compile in a dot out by default. Otherwise,
So we can just write GCC and file name and
yeah.
it will compile.
Yeah, another actually I didn't show, which I think I should show is if like indentation is also not necessary, but if you have like a poorly indented program, right? Let's say it's all over the place. If you have a program like this, it's not indented well. In Vim, you can select everything and press equal to auto indent everything. So this is also very nice. Like it shows it.
How to auto indent?
Sorry.
How to align all the things?
Press equal to. Select everything and press equal sign.
So in order to select, we have to go in the visual mode.
Visual mode, select everything, press equal. Okay, I think that is all the time we had. I hope this was useful. Feel free to like ask more questions on Piazza, and we'll help to answer you. Answer
So
all the
please upload the video there on Moodle also.
Yeah. Will do.
So one thing like so after we've done the clear command, and then if we use our keys, which the up and down keys, so can our previous commands also appear over there?
Yeah. So clear will not clear that.
Okay, so like it stays in the memory.
Yeah. So if I clear, I still have all the commands.
And also, is there any way to like delete any commands?
Why do you care? Like, it's fine, right? Just let it be.
So like if you make a mistake anywhere, like to delete.
Yeah, like that goes, all the commands you run goes in bash history. It's a special file, like these are, I think
It's a hidden file, right?
Yeah, hidden file. But it's so if you close your terminal, like anyways, I think so if you open a new like you won't see, like we just ran ls, right? It doesn't show ls now, it shows some other commands. So don't worry about this command history too much.
And sir, share that file also where you showed all those commands on the project page down now.
Yep, will do.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank
can we like see the after using the clear command? Can we see the previous commands?
Yeah, press up arrow. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone. I hope to see you next time. And yeah, let me know via email if there's something I can help with.
Okay,
This
sir.
was cool. Bye.
Sir, can we use the Vim extension in VS Code? Is it equivalent to using the direct Vim? And
yeah, you can.
Thank you.
Cool.
Sir, one.
Hello.
Include GCC and file name. Will it automatically compile, or for compilation we have to write dot and then press tab?
Running.
Hello. Hello. I think so. सर चलेगा क्या? हाँ भाई
Code
Hello.